Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar. Big Friday night in MLB. I've got 6 of my favorite plays, including a few home run spots. I'm eyeing up a starting pitcher that's already dominated his opponent once this season. And of course, my favorite play of the night. Who we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Barn. Find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Where else would you rather be on a Friday than hanging out here in the Fantasy Bar? Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out today's video. Before we get into the plays, you guys know the drill. Take a second, click that thumbs up button. Helps us out tremendously here on YouTube. Also, as I always say, that's the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Video coming free of charge. All we ask in return. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Football right around the corner. Yes, we will be having NFL 6-packs coming up here within about a month's time. So make sure you're subscribed. Also, head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. Great time to check it out. Still plenty of baseball action to bet on. Football right around the corner, both college and NFL. Tons of premium picks, analytics, compare odds across all the different sports books. That link right below me in the description of the video. Go and check it out today, scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into the plays here for today. Before we do that, weather looking like a major concern, especially on the East Coast. We're going to avoid a lot of those games. They may go, they may not, but we found some other spots. If we do have to make any changes, we will do so in the comment section of the video. All right, let's start in the outfield with George Springer of the Blue Jays. Now, Springer been kind of quiet of late. I think that's going to help us out in the ownership department. A lot of games on the slate, a lot of choices for people to make. Springer may fly under the radar tonight, and I love this matchup for him here. Righty on righty, solid 226 ISO, so good power, and matches up very well with Molly's pitches. Mainly going to throw fastball and slider. Fastball, we've talked about this guy's one of the best hitters in all of baseball, both WOBA and ISO. Over 470, solid 247 ISO against that slider. Now, Molly is vulnerable to power here, so the Toronto stack squarely in play with guys like Vlad, Teoscar Hernandez, and of course, George Springer here. 43% fly ball rate, 43% hard contact rate. George Springer leading us off here on Friday night. All right, let's go to that pitcher I talked about. We're going to go to Tampa Bay against those lowly Detroit Tigers. Roll Corey KLUBER. So it's been a constant theme here in the 6-pack. Don't overthink this one. Sure, there's some solid pitching options on this slate, but why not take a guy against arguably the worst offense in all of baseball? He's coming off season-high 10 strikeouts against his former team. Already has matched up with this Detroit team, had 8 strikeouts in that matchup. So I know the strikeouts have not been huge for Corey KLUBER this season, but clearly there is upside here in this matchup with Detroit. 7 of the projected starters in this lineup, 24% or higher strikeout rate, 5th highest rate in all of baseball as a team at almost 25%. And we've gone over some of the stats before, but team ISO 100, so not a lot of power in that lineup. WOBA against righties, just 261, and a WRC plus way down there at 67. Just some terrible numbers here. Corey KLUBER, fair prices, gonna allow you to get some bats in that lineup. We know the strikeouts are available here. My favorite pitcher on tonight's slate. All right, let's get back to the bats. Let's go to first base with Jose Abreu of the White Sox. This guy finally starting to heat up. It's kind of gone in waves, but we're seeing some hot swinging right now out of Jose Abreu. 3 multi-hit games for him over the last 5, 3 home runs over that same stretch. And this guy leads this White Sox team. It's a very good lineup. I know they've underachieved, but he leads the way with a 371 weighted OBA against righties. Very good against the slider, which he's going to see a bunch from Otto. Otto struggling with righties, 392 WOBA allowed. Just an 18% strikeout rate and a hard contact rate all the way up there at 42%. These righty White Sox bats are definitely in play tonight. Jose Abreu being my favorite here at first base. All right, let's stay on the infield next. Let's go out west. Second baseman, Brendan Rodgers of the Rockies. The Rodgers red hot right now. 10-game hitting streak, 8 multi-hit games for him over the last 3 weeks. So really seeing the ball well right now. Numbers against lefties, very, very impressive here for this guy. WOBA over 400, ISO over 250 here. Bumgarner, one of the guys I always love to pick on here. It hasn't been as bad as we've seen over the past couple seasons, but still not great. ISO at almost 200. Our power mix in play as well at 42 and 44%. Rodgers, numbers too good against lefties here. Bumgarner, not a guy I'm afraid to shy away from. Rodgers, one of my favorite plays here for Friday night. All right, let's get back to the outfield next. We're going to spend some money here on the newly acquired Juan SOTO of the Padres. So we had a lot of people excited about Juan SOTO that first night. He was very highly owned. We're into day 3 or 4 here since that trade. So the hype going to die down a little bit. That should knock some of the ownership off. Plus, a matchup that on paper does not look easy. Gonsolin's been very solid this season, but we're going to get into some of the numbers here and why I like Juan Soto. First of all, very good against righties. ISO at a big 278. WOBA north of 400. We talk about batting average on balls in play. Anything under 300 is a very low number. 238 here for Juan Soto. So these numbers should be even higher. Should be about a 300 ISO and about a 500 WOBA for him. So been a little bit unlucky. Now Gonsolin started out the season red hot. As of late, we've seen some kinks in the armor here. 12 earned runs allowed over his last 3 starts. Home runs allowed in each of the last 5 starts for Gonsolin. And the power mix is there for us for these lefty Padres bats, 35 and 38%. Juan Soto, yes, he's expensive. I think we get a lot lower ownership on him here and a better matchup than it looks to be on paper. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Very easy to play, free to play. Just get in that comment section right below me. Make sure you've clicked that thumbs up button if you have not already. All you got to do is guess fantasy points for my highest scoring hitter. I don't even need the name, just the closest guess in fantasy points on FanDuel tonight. Closest guess wins themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium, a chance to check everything out behind the scenes absolutely free. So let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night, you know, Mass, the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to stay in that Padres-Dodgers game. We're going to go to the other side with shortstop Trea Turner, tonight's Beast of the Night. So Turner really flicking that power switch on here of late. 3 home runs over the last 6 games for him. We know the speed is there as well, so really gives you a lot of outlets to score fantasy points here. And this guy been very, very good against lefties. We're talking an ISO sitting above 300, a WOBA at over 400, a hard contact rate at almost 50%, which we talked is an absolutely elite number. Most guys in the 35 to 40, 45% range. Anytime you get higher than that, it shows. This guy's hitting the ball hard and gonna see a ton of sinkers here from Sean Manaea, 62% of the time. That's his pitch to righties. Not good here against Trea Turner. 483 the WOBA, a matching 483 the ISO, so hits that pitch with a ton of power. So checking all of the boxes here. Red hot as of now, gives us power and speed, hits lefties well, hits the primary pitch of Manaea well, and Manaea been struggling with righties. Another guy kind of come crashing back down to earth a little bit here. ISO at almost 200. What's really alarming, fly ball rate, hard contact rate, both just a touch under 40%, and he's allowed multiple home runs in each of the last 2 starts. You add it all up, guys, Trea Turner, easily my favorite play on the board, and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, that'll wrap us up for Friday night here in the Fantasy Bar with 6 of my favorite plays for you on this big MLB slate. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points from my highest scoring hitter on FanDuel for a shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. Also, check out scoresandodds.com/beer. Give me a follow over on Twitter if you're not already, at Beermakersfan. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck with your games tonight. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist